Hi to all of our amazing MoFlow customers and happy Monday, said no one ever. I'm coming to you from my apartment today, so I am not in the MoFlow office, hence the scenery behind me. But I did want to come to you with something very important. The team's been very hard at work, and we are super happy to announce and share with you that FloGen is now live. As you guys saw the video from me about the middle of last week, we were really excited about this update. We've put a lot of effort, we've taken a lot of feedback from you guys, and tried to make this the biggest step forward in MoFlow history. So everything else that we've previewed earlier this week, as well as FloGen, I'm going to walk you through all of that in this video right now, show you exactly how it works, tell you a few things you're going to want to check inside your account, so that way you can get the most out of it. Let's get into it. So just a quick recap once again of what shipped. I'm not going to repeat too much from the last video because I want to build on that, but I do want to go through just the high level really quick. So FloGen, this is really the daily content engine. Flo is now inside of your MoFlow experience. She is creating posts for you, blogs for you, emails for you every single day. And as we launch more apps and have more integrations, she will be doing everything. We also had some integrations and blog upgrades, so I'm going to go through those as well. And then also like some interface and personas upgrades across the entire platform, and those we definitely need to unpack as well. I'll first start with the other integrations, and then I'll be jumping into FloGen. When I was thinking about how to record this demo, I was thinking, what is the best way to show the capabilities of FloGen and what's happened in the current system inside of MoFlow Cloud? I thought the best way to do that would be by choosing a local service business here in the Las Vegas area. They're actually across the entire Southwest, Gettle HVAC and Plumbing. And this whole entire MoFlow Cloud experience that I'm going to walk you through in this demo is based on this company for their Las Vegas location. So keep that in context when looking at the content that it's been producing for Gettle. Now, as I navigated over toward this dashboard page, which is your main page that you come into when you log into MoFlow Cloud, I'm sure you can see that a few things have changed. So let's break those down. At the top, you see that there's a Take a Tour button. At any point, if you want to review MoFlow Cloud and how it works, there's this helpful video to see how it works, as well as a little point around that shows you where everything is. So your apps, your notifications, profile and settings, Ask Flo, where the recent content is, where each app's content lives that Flo's been creating, the content calendar, as well as the recent activity section, and then our main menu on the left sidebar. So feel free to use that at any point. It's just a quick little thing to help get you acclimated and make sure you know where everything is. We will keep that up to date over time. So that's a really nice, easy resource. Another one is still to just use our help center, which if you do not remember is down here on the left. This is also where you can submit feedback, etc. So the next thing I want to show you is that if I click any of these create buttons, that actually takes me to the create page for that application. So if I go to create a post, it's going to take me to the create page in MoSocial. And same for email, same for blog. Down here is where I actually see all the content that Flo's been creating for me. So this is one of the big differences in this version. This is where the FloGen content appears, and it shows you really a high level of what Flo has been doing in the background and creating for you for each of your apps. So down this column, you can see everything that's been created MoSocial-wise. As you can see, there's been a post created every single day for the last 4 days here that I can look through. Same thing for MoMail, where it's created some newsletters as well as some outbound emails for me at Gettle. And then also blogs, articles, and case studies that Flo is also generating in the background. Over here, I can see my content calendar. This gives me a quick view of what is scheduled out, like what's upcoming, and I can look at it from the month or the week view. Currently, I just set up this account, so there's nothing there, but in all of your accounts, if you have posts scheduled out, they will show up right there. We will be adding blogs to that as well, and eventually once we have email with scheduling and those sorts of things, that will be there as well. So you can see everything that's going out and happening across your business at a glance right when you log in. In the recent activity section, this just shows you in the last day what's been happening. So it looks like Flo actually created 3 drafts. That's the 3 drafts that I'm seeing right here. It created a blog, it created a piece of mail, as well as a social media post, and I can see that all those were here. And you can also click this button to view all activity, which brings you to a cool view that we designed for you guys to see all of your activity, as well as the amount of content generated by you versus Flo. In this account, it's a bit skewed. Flo's been doing all the work for me. I can't lie. Now that we've seen the dashboard, I'm going to move us over to the library. So in the library, you'll see that there wasn't too many big changes, but there's been some subtle changes. We've done some enhancements to the UI to make it a bit more usable, easy for you guys. If you ever want to go and create more content, these also take you straight to the create page, just as those buttons do on the dashboard. And if you'd like to upload from device, you can, and we are waiting on our Google Drive verification still. So this will work very shortly for you. Here you can search across any of your files. We made this a lot smarter in this version, so if I type in something like MoMail, it's going to show me everything in MoMail. Or if I type in my name, for example, it's going to show me all the content created by Tristan. There is, if I type in Flo, it's going to show me all the content that's Flo created. And if I hover over the profile photo, it'll actually show me that person's name. So I'm going to type in Tristan again, just to show you guys. Tristan Kokoza right here. And as you guys can see, my very funny, simple test blog that I put together over here. And so you can basically hover and you'll see that a lot of these elements actually now move and kind of do something. So if I hover over the date and time, I can actually see the time gets bigger, so I can see that second element. Or if I hover over the app icon, it actually tells me which app it's in. Or if I hover over the name, I can actually just simply, delete that and rename it to something else. Right? So all of these things now we've done and enhanced to make just the whole experience easier to use and better overall for you. If I want to download this image, I can quickly just click that button. Great, it just downloaded that image. If I want to delete it, I can delete it just like that. And then if I want to go over to the list view, we also enhanced this view for you as well. Very similar to the cards, but sometimes people do prefer to see it more so in this format. So if you're trying to more so identify the media, I'd probably use the grid view because that gives you a better view of that. But if you're trying to look for a lot of files or you're doing something very specific, the list view might be a little bit more practical for you. So you can switch that up here. For filters, you can now see that I can filter by files I've created, files my team has created. There's no one in my team, hence why no files, or files that Flo has created for me. I can also filter by apps or whether I uploaded the files myself. And if I want to filter at a high level from things that are outside of MoFlow, just my uploads versus things that are inside of MoFlow that were created in any of my apps, I can easily filter between those things as well, or just go to all of my files. Now that we've gotten a little bit of a review on the library page, let's head over to the new knowledge page. So over on the new knowledge page, we can see the knowledge that I grabbed for Gettle. So it got the company's name, my headquarters. In the brand identity, I can see that it got my font, it has my logo, it has all of my colors. And typically this, just so that this will most likely be filled in on yours. This is a test account, but do go in. If you do need to change anything, for example, if I know that they have 200 employees, I can type that in and click enter, and now it's saved in my knowledge base. So we do our best to have Flo go in and fill all of your knowledge in and keep it up to date, but it also helps for you to go in and review it and make sure that it's up to date as well. We can see here that all the business offerings that it got, I can easily delete a business offering here. And if I wanted to undo that, you'll see that we added a simple undo in case you delete something you did not want to delete. I can also edit any of these fields and give it more information. For example, if this was actually $5.99 instead of $4.99, I can update that offering by typing in $5.99, pressing enter, and now it's saved. If I'd like to add a new offering, I can simply do that here by adding a new offering on the add offering button. And now I'm going to show you what it's like to remove that. So let's remove that offering. If I head over to the customers and industry tab, you'll see more of the same. It got all the service locations of Gettle. It got their buyers, their suppliers, their industry groups, and everything else. And for sales and marketing, it got all of Gettle's socials, as well as their pitch, their ideal persona, customer needs, funnels, calls to action, and channels. And for key people, it got all of the key people involved in Gettle. If you want to add a key person, once again, like a business offering, you can add it there. And if you want to delete it, you delete it with that button. And there's that simple undo that comes up as well. Now that we've taken a deeper look at the knowledge page, let's head over to personas, because this is where the biggest changes have happened. As you can see here on the personas page, now for our writing personas, they're actually split up here on this top row. And our visual styles, what was previously called artists, is now on the bottom row. Instead of, just having a few buttons or like terms to describe the personality or whatever it may be, we've taken it a step further. We've now radically simplified the experience and made it much better and much easier in terms of using and creating personas. As you can see for the writing personas, instead of all those buttons, it actually just shows you what it would sound like in its writing. So if I sit on this, I can actually see how it shows up when it's writing. You'll also see that Flo is actually the one that created a lot of these original personas. I haven't even created any personas in this account yet. Flo created all of them. So make sure to check in your account, because Flo has likely created a few writing personas and a few image personas for you to use. So these visual styles and the writers. For the writing ones, I can see that these are in the active position for Mo Blogs. This one's for Mo Mail and this one's for Mo Social. I can also see that information up here. Basically, what this means is that by default in your different apps, that persona will be the active one being used. So if I go into Mo Social, for example, currently it's set to Las Vegas Local. So if I go to Mo Social and I go to the create page, I can expect, seeing here that Las Vegas Local is the default persona that I have on for Mo Social. But if I'd like to change that when I'm creating, I can also just change it to a different persona. This purely just sets the default for you for that application. You can easily replace that here on the personas page. For example, I want to switch that out. I want to have the HVAC and plumbing expert as my default there. So now I've switched that out. And now you can see it's active for Mo Social and Mo Blogs. If I'd like to switch that back, I could simply just do it by clicking replace writer and selecting the writer that I want as the default for that application. In terms of visual styles, so far we've launched visual styles for Mo Social only because that's the only place where we currently allow image generation. We will also be bringing the same capabilities to Mo Blogs for header images for your blogs in the coming weeks. So be prepared for that as well. As you can see, it says coming soon. For visual styles, like I said, they're only for Mo Social, so you can see the one visual style that's being used by default in Mo Social. This works the same way. If I switch this out for, let's try the Gettle Insight graphic style, then if I go over to Mo Social and I am on the image generation step of Mo Social, so I'm going to go over to step 2, you can see that the default visual style is the one that I have set in my personas page as the default visual style. So same way as you expect the default writer to be there for that app as well. As far as creating new writers and new styles, you can simply click one of these two buttons. If I click on new writers, I can see that MoFlow actually already has a ton of industry agnostic writers that I can choose from. So by personality, you can see that we've loaded a few in here. You can click, feel free to click add writer. And then what it does is it will build the persona specific to your business, but based on this personality. If I want to do it by role, it'll create that person, but as that role at your company. If I want to choose some of the fun ones, this will create someone who has a personality similar to these fun personalities that you see here. So if I want a Maverick or the Hype Machine, I can add those easily. Or if I'd like to add a flow generated one, the whole time when I'm opening up this button, Flow will be creating a few new ones, and it will create new ones every time. If you'd like to regenerate more, simply click this button. But it will create ones that it believes would be the best for your business. And so you can feel free to also use the writers it suggests. And we will be adding a full controlled build your own writer from scratch where you can upload examples and all sorts of things very soon. That'll be coming in the next couple of updates. Similarly, if I'm on the personas page, I can also click add new style. As you can see, we've created some by look, some by use, and then also some standout ones as well. And this shows you examples of what it might look like for your business. And if you add the style, it will then personalize it to your business. And the flow generated ones, which are currently loading, will also appear if you stay on this page, and you can add those as well in the same way we did the writers. The last thing I want to show you is around persona customization. So the Las Vegas Local, currently I can see the way it writes, and maybe I really do like the way it writes. It's very, very personal, and it's very specific to Las Vegas when I read the text. But let's just say that I wanted to change something specific. Like let's say it was using emojis, and I just don't want it to use emojis when it's writing social media content, especially not in my mail, and I already have it turned off in blogs. Well, I can just simply turn it off for Mo Social, so it'll never use emojis. If I don't want to use exclamation marks, that'll be turned off as well. And we will be adding more capabilities here too. So if you have some you would like, please let us know. We'll be adding as many as we can based on customer feedback for each of the different apps. Specific to Mo Social is hashtags. So I would turn off hashtags if I didn't want to use hashtags in Mo Social, for example, and maybe I just wanted to write without hashtags. I'm going to leave those on though and click save to our changes. And now if I go back in and click edit, you can see that our changes were saved, so it will no longer have those behaviors going forward. Similarly, for visual styles, you can either have it use text in the images or not. If it does use text, you can allow it to specifically use your company font in the images it creates. You can also choose whether or not it uses your company logo in the image it creates, and whether or not it uses the company colors in your images that it creates. And all of those specific things you can see back on the knowledge page if you go to the tab for brand identity, where your colors are, your font is, and your logos are stored. In terms of the personas page, that about wraps up all the new changes here, and we will be showing you how to use personas across the apps later in this demo. I also just want to call out on this side, if you see this little question mark over here, this is where we've now put the need help, And so if you click learn more, you will actually get a personalized video to that specific piece, that specific page rather, that you are requesting help on. And you can actually watch the helpful tutorial videos. It's basically a shortcut to going over here and going to our help center, which is loaded up with everything from getting started to each app and each of the tools inside your experience. Another big change we've made is we actually removed the app hub from over here on the left sidebar at the main menu, and we've now moved it over here to explore all apps. So if you don't have all the apps, for example, feel free to come to this page, take a look at the other apps that we have. We're also going to be putting potential apps here in the lab section where you can join the waitlist. The reason this is important is because if we have enough users that do want a specific app, as we're talking about new apps constantly and what they can do to improve your rankings on Google and get you more customers and also to be able to produce content for each of your channels, we're going to be putting those ideas here. So if one of these resonates with you, I'd recommend clicking join waitlist. That helps us know how much demand there is for each of these apps, and we can build accordingly. If you don't see what you need, feel free to click this new button that we've added, which is requesting an app. Inside here, it doesn't need to necessarily be a full app or a perfect app. Feel free to just give us your ideas. If you want something that does something specific, if we get enough interest, we will probably put it on the labs page, and if it picks up some steam, we'll end up building it. So it's a really good way to give us some feedback there on what you want to see out of the platform. But you can also navigate over here to your apps, and you'll see the apps you have, and in Discover, it'll show you the apps that you don't have that we're currently offering. For me, I have every app currently, so it's not showing anything there. Lastly, I'm going to take us over to the notifications before I jump into some apps and start showing you guys the FloGen content and how we're going to use it. As you can see over here, if I click the notification bell, it takes me to this notifications page. I can look at my notifications by app. I can also go to my notification settings from here. I can show only the unread notifications. I can mark all as read, or I can expand on any of these notifications by clicking into it or clicking on this button and then viewing it. If I want to click on view for a post, for example, it should take me directly to that post and open it up here in MoSocial. So that's just an easy way to go and look at all your notifications. And I will also show you how to configure your settings so that you can get emails for the notifications that you want to get. So we'll actually navigate over towards the settings now. So I'm just going to click on my profile, but you can also click on any of these tabs. As you can see here, we've actually updated the settings. If I want to edit our company address, I can do that here. This is the company name, Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Our time zone, you can edit here for the company. And then the website is also here. And then for my profile settings, you can see that I have my email here, my name if I want to edit that, my phone number if I want to edit that, my position, and then also the content that I've created. As you can see, I've been lacking a little bit. I've been letting Flow take full charge. And if I want to change my password here or my profile photo, you can do that all from right here. For notification settings, when we were just on the notifications page, that's going to take us right here. This is where you get to choose what notifications trigger an email to come to your inbox. So if you want to see posts that are being created, like being drafted by Flow and by other users in your account, I recommend you turn this on. If you want to see when posts are being scheduled out, also keep this on. And when they publish, you'll also get an email notification for that as well if this is on. Same thing goes for the other applications here. In terms of knowledge, this is most relevant at the very start, but we will be also adding some enhancements to knowledge, so look out for more notification types here in the future. But this will basically let you know once your knowledge run is complete. More important for new users. Here for personas, it'll tell you when a new persona is created, whether that be by somebody in your company, whether Flow creates a new persona for you, so that way you can stay in the loop with the personas that you have. And for library, it'll keep you in the loop with any new files that are uploaded to your library if you'd like to be notified for that for any user in your company. At the system level, we can you can also get notifications for users being invited, users joining, your settings being updated, your profile being updated, and most sensitive, your billing being updated. So also look through these notifications and make sure you have the ones turned on that you want. If you want to turn all the notifications on or off for a certain one of these tabs like system, you can just click this button off or on, or you can individually go through them and configure it the way that makes most sense for you, your use case, and your business. Now I'm going to head over to apps. This is probably where the majority of changes have happened, and a lot of explanation is going to be needed. But at a high level, this is where your FloGen action kind of takes place. This is your FloGen schedule. Below here is your topics by application, so you can see that they're different for each of the apps. We have different topics down here, and they're also by section, so emails versus newsletters. And then over here on the left, you'll see all your account connections as they used to be. So if I connect accounts, they will show up here on the left for each of my individual MoFlow apps. So like I said, we will come back to this app section, but for now I'm going to keep on moving through settings. This is where you invite users. So if I also want to look at a user, I can click, currently the only user in this company is me, but you can change people's roles, their permissions here. And if I want to invite a new user to my company, I can simply just do that by typing in their email and then clicking this send invite button over here, and they will get an email. And then over here, I can manage my billing as well. So I can see what apps I have and my billing information. Currently, I have my card in. I can see that everything is set up correctly. So now let's move into one of our apps. Let's go over to MoSocial. So what I can see here in MoSocial is that Flo has actually been creating, because if I hover, I can see who created the different posts here on the posts page. Flo's actually been creating posts every single day for me. And that is what FloGen is. It creates content for you based on that schedule that we just saw in settings and the different topics that I want my company to be representing. And it also creates it using the persona that I've set for that day and whatever visual style to create the image content for that day as well. So let's click into one of these as an example and let's see what it created. So it looks like it's talking about the water in the Southwest is destroying your plumbing from the inside out. Municipal water hardness levels in Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Austin are at punishing highs. The severe mineral buildup ruins water heaters and chokes pipes. And up here I can see that the imagery was created using this visual style, Gettle Craftsmanship Showcase. The topic was hard water and plumbing solutions in the Southwest, and the writer was the Gettle professional writer from our personas page. And we can see, so the imagery is very realistic. It shows the pipe, it shows the damage that's happening. But maybe if we used one that's more of a branded visual, that's going to create something with their logo, with their colors. Maybe it's a little bit more illustration style. So you can see that we're going to, as we go through these posts, we'll see the differences in the way that different writers are writing these captions, but also the differences in the types of image content that's created for each of these. So let's go click on another one as well. Let's go to this one. So as you can see in this one, it actually did a really cool diagram for us of an HVAC system, and it also put our logo in the bottom right. And the reason it did that is because we used the Gettle Insight graphic, which actually has those toggles from earlier on the personas page. If we go to that persona, the toggles will be turned on for it to be using, and right here is the one that's using the Insight graphic. We can see that the toggles are turned on for it to use text, to use the company font, to use the logo, and to use their colors. So we can expect all of those things when we're looking at the post in MoSocial. And as we can see, it did. It used the logo, it used the colors, and it used text to explain in like more of an infographic. Whereas for a style like this doesn't have company colors, logo, or text turned on, but is still a really good example of content that you'd want to be putting out there if you're Gettle, because you want your content to have variety. And so this really allows the flexibility to have any type of content that you want on a consistent interval, knowing that it's always going to be branded, or it's going to look realistic, or that it's going to use your company colors, or that it's going to have writing on it, or it won't have writing on it. All of that now, the power lies with you, and we've done our best to build Flo in a way where she creates a diverse number of these visual styles and writers for you, so there's always something to fit for your business. And as you start to like certain ones more or certain ones less, you can actually up the frequency of how often that specific style or that writer or that topic is used. So here's another great example. It used our company colors really well. It also put our logo in the top left, and it branded everything towards the Southwest kind of look and feel, which is where our company is located. And this topic is about drought regulations and water-saving plumbing in the Southwest. So you can see it's very hyper-specific to Gettle and their company offerings. Last one we're going to click into here, as well as we're searching through all the ones that Flo has generated, is this one, which has a very realistic cat laying on the floor. Obviously, it's a little too hot here in the Southwest, it looks like. And this one was written by a Las Vegas local with the authentic lifestyle visual style. And the topic was pet safety during extreme temperatures in the Southwest. And as you can see, the entire messaging is all around keeping our furry friends safe. So I think showing that really shows the variety of content styles, the way that it's written, and all the different things that Flo can do in this update. It's really a powerful tool. And I think one of the things that we're going to get into is obviously when we look at those settings again later, enabling you guys to have full power over changing the topics, changing the writers, changing the visual styles There are so many things you can do. And so this is really just scratching the surface because this is everything that Flow created for me. But keep in mind, you also, as a manual user, can actually modify and change these things to really match your specific outputs. So I'd love to know what ends up working out best for you guys and see everything that you guys create using this. So next thing I want to show you is what it looks like in the create page. We showed a little bit of this earlier. I'm just going to turn on these platforms even though I don't have them connected yet. As you can see, all the topics here, these are actually reflective of the topics that I have in the app settings for each app. So those topics show up right here really easily for you. And I'm just going to get a topic idea because I'm not exactly sure what to write for this caption. And we're going to choose the first option that it gives us. And then I'm gonna move over to step 2. But what I really wanna show you is that this persona by default, Las Vegas Local, is the one that we had set in our personas page. So that's the writer that's being used. If I maybe wrote it and then we go to the next step and I actually don't like the way that the captions look, then I can also always go back and just use basically the same prompt again, but use a different writer and see if that changes the wording, and maybe that's a little bit more similar to the way that I wanted it written. So you can use your writers across all of the different apps when writing different types of content, whether it be blogs, mail, or social media captions in this case. And as you can see, our Las Vegas Local came back. Are you feeling that heat wave creeping into the valley yet? I see the heat advisories popping up for us here in Vegas, along with our neighbors down in Phoenix and Southern California, right? Very personal, very friendly, literally written like a Las Vegas Local. So yeah, like I said though, you can change out any of these, and if I reran it with this, the Gettle professional personality, that's probably going to give us a bit different captions than the Las Vegas Local person writing it. We can see that it is meaningfully different. The desert heat is unforgiving. Severe heat advisories are currently active across Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Southern California. Since 1939, we have engineered cooling solutions for the hardest climates in the Southwest. So you can see that the whole messaging is actually different now. It's really written by like a professional at Gettle rather than just a local person in the community. And you can do this with any type of writer, any type of personality. So it's really, like I said, customizable and flexible. And I can't wait to see what you guys do and which personas you create and use across the apps. Now, if I go over to step 2, as many of you know, Flow is automatically going to start generating some images for me. But let's say I wanted to describe an idea. I can go and switch between the visual style personas here. So let's say I want to use the Gettle Heritage graphic, which seems to be using our logo, our company colors, and I want to do something like people having fun indoors because it's too hot outside. And we'll just do something along those lines. I ended up letting it load. So this is what it turned out, which I thought was great. So you can see that it really matches the visual style here. And then we also got one as well that's like a little bit less styled because I know that sometimes, obviously, you guys want multiple options. There has to be some optionality there. But you can see the first 2 images it created were completely in that visual style. It used the company colors, the logo. It used the company font. So that's the type of experience you can expect similarly for your company when you're changing different visual styles. And if I did the authentic lifestyle type, then they would have all turned out very similar to this type of photo. The next thing I'd like to show quickly while we're still here in Mo Social is how to switch over to multiple pieces of media. So if you want to do a single piece of media, you can always upload a video or an image, and you can add it here, or you can drag and drop and get something from your computer. But if you'd like to do multiple images or multiple pieces of media, you can click on this, and as you see, this appears down here. So this actually allows you to click on, let's say, 2 of these pieces of media, and now I'm going to be able to post those as a carousel post. So let's actually choose 2 that match really well. So I'm going to choose this Beat the Heat and Stay Cool, Stay Happy. And we're going to use these as a carousel post. So it'll actually have these 2. And if I'd like to reorder them, you can just drag and reorder very easily just like that. So I'm going to move them back. I like this position. I'm going to move on to step 3. Over here, I can see all the platform previews. And if I click these arrows, I can see the multiple different types of media inside of the post. I'm going to continue to save this one to drafts because I don't currently have my accounts connected. But I do want to call attention to this button. For you guys, this will show up and it'll say let Flow choose. If you click on that, Flow will schedule your post out for the best possible time for what it reads off of your analytics and your engagement from your audience on social media. So you can just trust it to put out a post when it makes sense for your content calendar. And that way it's just one less thing to think about. Like, when should I post it? Should I post it now? Should I schedule it for, a certain time? It's like Flow knows, and it's specific to your industry, your audience, and your customers based off of real engagement. So it's a great feature we've put in, and I know that you guys are going to love it. So now saving this one to drafts quickly, and you can see that now that I've saved it to drafts, it shows up right here, and it was created by me, Tristan Kokoza, here in my drafts. So I can now post it from here if I'd like to, or if you want to click on this, if let's say I already reviewed that post, I just made it, or maybe I remember it from last week, I created it a while ago, you can click this schedule button, and this is once again the same feature that I was just talking about. You can let Flow schedule it for you. So Flow is going to find the best time, so we'll let that run really quick. And oh, I don't have my socials connected, so Flow has nothing to go off of for mine. So bad example, but in your account, it'll say let Flow schedule for you. Click on that button and it will choose the best possible time to post that. And then you can simply just click schedule and it will put it out to all your platforms at the best possible time. I want to navigate really quickly over to the calendar page here in Mo Social. So as you can see, I have no content in this account. It's a brand new account. I didn't even connect my socials yet. But let's say that I saw a date where I didn't have a post yet. So it's going to suggest to me some times. Let's say 8 a.m. I wanted to post on Wednesday. You can also simply schedule directly from the calendar. So let's say I wanted to schedule this right from the calendar. I would choose what platforms. Like I said, I have none connected, so this is not going to work for me. But these will all be connected for you, hopefully. So then you will just be able to click schedule and it will put it out for that time on that day. So just another way to look at your calendar. And it will also show you the ones that are already currently scheduled out when you have some scheduled out. So it's a really easy way to just look at your calendar, make sure your content calendar is full and that you're staying up to date and getting content out to your customers. All right, so the next app that we're going to be moving into is going to be Mo Blogs. This has also had a lot of updates recently. As you can see, I come in on the blogs page. I can see if it's a blog, if it's an article, if it's a case study based on this tag right here. And I can also see, similar to Mo Social, who it was created by, and I can open it just like this. I can also publish it directly to my website right now, or like we just added, I can actually schedule it to go to my website, and Flow is going to suggest a time for me to schedule and automatically select it. So all I have to do is literally just click schedule, and Flow's already chosen a time. Very easy. This is also based off of real analytics, what times are best for posting blogs to your website, and what's going to get the most viewership and traction based on the analytics. So we've incorporated that same feature here. And if you open it, you can see it's very similar to Mo Social. It's going to open up. It's going to show me what persona wrote this, what topic was used to write this. And currently, Flow does not create images for blogs, but if you do want to use an image, you can always attach an image very easily. I'm going to choose this one from our library. For Mo Blogs, header images are a bit more landscape than Mo Social, where the images are square, so it's going to have you crop it a little bit. I'm going to crop it to about right here, and I'm going to click submit, and now this will be the featured image if I click save changes that is used when I post the blog. So if you look at the blog on the website, normally there's a big image that's with the blog. That's what this image will be with this blog that I can see over here on the left. Now I can see that Flow's generated a lot of different blog content and articles for me. It created an article that was written by an HVAC and plumbing expert about the cost-benefit analysis of upgrading to a certain type of HVAC system, something I'm not knowledgeable of. But as you can see, this is very much in depth and from more of like the expert type focus in terms of the wording it's going to use, in terms of the way it's written, what like what even subtopics it's talking about within this topic. And that is all by design. You can switch out the writers. Like I said, I'm going to show you that in settings, so how you can configure it for yourself. You can add new writers with different personalities, but in this example, this is like an expert level written one. So maybe this is really good for like a certain target audience. For example, people already in the industry with Gettle. Like if I want to send this to industry partners, this is going to really hold a lot of weight and really speak as an authority. But maybe for my customers, I want to post out a blog that was written by, the Gettle professional personality. Or maybe I want to do one that was written by the Las Vegas local, if I can find one of those here. It looks like a lot of them were written by the expert, by the, Gettle professional. So that's okay. But, all these different writers can write in different styles that will appeal to your different audiences, because in business, we have multiple stakeholders. We have our customers, we have industry partners. And so you can really hone in on what content is going to which groups and how you want to represent yourself as a brand. So similar to Mo Social, I can see if my website's connected up here, just like my social medias. If I want to go create a new blog, I can do that here, and I can see all my topics here. I can also see which writers I'm using, which one's in by default, which is the expert in this case. And I can also switch between the different types of blogs that I can create. Over here on the calendar page, I'm going to leave the create page. as I've already gone through that flow on Mo Social. You'll see that this is very similar to Mo Social. If I click add a blog and I put it at this time, I can quickly just schedule a blog just like that into that selected time by clicking the add blog button if my website is connected. Now I'm going to take us over to Mo Mail, where we have some of the remaining app changes, and then I'll be going to settings finally to wrap this all up and what you can do to configure and customize FloGen. So here we can see that Flo's also generated tons of email content for me to review. So I'm going to choose one of the ones that is a newsletter. So this was written by an HVAC and plumbing expert, so the writer that we were using last time, and the topic is Desert Climate Indoor Comfort Digest. So Desert Climate Infrastructure Digest, Quarter 2, 2026, technical briefing. The reason this is a technical-oriented briefing is because of the persona I'm using. I'm using an expert-level persona in this field, so it's going to go a little bit more into the numbers, into the data, and pull out really specific things that only an expert in this field would know. If I go to a different example, okay, so this one was written by the Las Vegas local, and as we can see, it's a bit more friendly, right? It's like, hey neighbor, quick heads up about the monsoon season. So the topic is Southwest Monsoon Storm Plumbing Prep, and this is an email, not a newsletter, so this would more so be used as outbound to your clients. So hi neighbor, if you've lived in the valley for a while, you know our summer skies can go from clear blue to torrential downpour in minutes. When those sudden monsoon storms hit areas like Henderson and Summerlin, the flash floods can overwhelm your home's drainage and plumbing fast, right? So it's really talking to you as a friend, stay safe and cool, you're Las Vegas local. So it's really talking to you like an insider that truly lives here in our market. So Flo is able to use all of these different personalities to create content that is dynamic for each of your audiences, like I said before, similar to Mo Blogs, similar to Mo Social with the different visuals, the different styles used there. And then once again, if I come over here to create, I can create Mo Mail in the same way that I always have. So it looks like it took a second to load, but as you can see, my topics are down here. My default persona is set here. This is my writer. And then I can create content as I normally would. One of the other advancements that we made to Mo Mail and Mo Blogs is the editing functionality. So I'm quickly going to show you, we're going to just create a sample piece of mail. So now that the mail has been created, I can see over here, 2 new additions. So you can export to MailChimp and Constant Contact, which is the new integration that we've added. And I'll show you how to connect that in settings. And as you can see, we've actually changed the interface here quite a bit. So you can easily download the content right here. If I download it as a PDF, it'll just download straight to my computer. I can open it here. But more importantly, I want to show you the editing features. So over here, we added this little expansion button. If you click on that, it's going to give you the full surface to work with. I'm going to shrink that again. And then up here, we've also added a toolbar. So let's say I wanted to make this a heading. I can now change the styling of that. Or if I wanted to make the text red in the email, I could do that. If I want to embed a video, I can paste a YouTube link or upload a video here. Same thing for photos. And then all the other styling that you would expect out of a normal email or blog editor. From here, I'm going to simply save this email to drafts so we can look see what it looks like over here. And as you can see, that one was just saved by me, Tristan. And if I want to export it, I'm going to first need to connect an account. So now let's navigate over to settings, which is really the meat of this update if you really want to get custom in your FloGen experience. So first things first, if I wanted to connect Constant Contact or MailChimp, I would connect those accounts here. For MailChimp, if I click on this, it's going to redirect me to the MailChimp login, and I'm going to have to authorize it to be used with MoFlow. That way I can export an email directly to MailChimp. If I'd like to do the same, but for Constant Contact, if that's what I use, then I'd go down here, click Connect Account. Same thing's going to happen, and I'm going to have to sign in and connect my account to Constant Contact. We will be adding more of these integrations, so if you use HubSpot, expect that to be coming, as well as Follow Up Boss or any other ones. And also feel free to ping us and let us know if you are waiting on an integration, because that way we can move it up the stack and get that to you quicker. As far as the non-account connection stuff, so like I said, you connect your accounts here. For Mo Mail, it's Constant Contact, MailChimp. We'll be adding more. For Mo Social, it's these 4 social platforms. We will also be adding more in the future. And for Mo Blogs, currently you can connect a WordPress website, either a WordPress.com website, which was built, with like WordPress's corporate sort of service, or a self-hosted WordPress site, which basically covers about 60 to 80% of all local business owners' websites. So yeah, you can connect that website right here, and that's going to take you through a flow as well, where it connects to your specific blog page, and that whole setup, they're all extremely easy to use. And if you ever need any help, you can contact us to our customer success team. Focusing on the things that are not the account connections, if we move over here and we look at FloGen, these two parts. So FloGen is this box, and then prompt topics is this box. So if we go to topics for Mo Social, we can see that the only topic type is captions, and that's because you can only create captions for a social media post. If I'd like to look at any of the topics, I can click on one. I can see the description of the topic as well as the title of the topic, and I can actually edit them or I can delete them. I can also add in new topics. So if I want Flo to talk about something new on a consistent basis, I can come up with a topic myself and describe in the description what I want it to write about, and it will be able to use that topic for my content going forward every single week. Up here is where you can actually see the schedule. So you can change what time Flo creates content. So currently this company is set up where it runs for all 3 apps at 9 a.m. That's typically our default in your time zone. And it will show your time zone there. So I'm in Pacific time, so it shows PDT here. And then over here on each of the days, if I want to turn off a day, I could simply unselect it. Now Flo is not going to generate content on Thursday, or I can reselect it. Here is where I can see what the profile and the topic configuration is for Flo to create content that day. So on Thursday, it looks like Flo is using this writer, the Gettle Professional. It's using this heritage graphic visual style that Flo created for us and that we've reviewed. And then it's using this topic, drought regulations. And if I want to see that topic more, I'm going to head down here really quick. Drought regulations and water saving plumbing in the Southwest with this description is what it's basing its content off of for Thursdays. Any of these you can configure. You can switch out the topic. You can switch out the visual style being used. You can switch out the writer being used. And you can even turn off days that you don't want. Or you can turn it off altogether. Not something I'd recommend because we are allowing unlimited full use for all customers this entire month. Well, I should say for the next month because this month is almost over. For MoMail, you'll see more of the same, except MoMail doesn't create images. So as you can see, there's no visual style that you need to attach to MoMail, only a writer. And the same is true of MoBlogs. The main difference in MoBlogs and MoMail is if you head down here to where the topics are, you can see the topics are actually categorized by what they're specific to. So for creating articles, we create articles about these topics. For creating blogs, we create blogs about these topics. And for case studies, it's creating case studies about this topic. Similar to MoMail, you have your newsletters versus your outbound emails. The email topics, those might be more specific to what's going to go to your customers. And then the newsletters are actual topics for what a newsletter content would be. And you can imagine the difference between those, but also go into your account and look at the differences between them. And if you want to change the category of one, you can also simply change it by flipping the toggle up here and clicking save. So in review, the main place you're going to be spending your time is probably on the homepage. We've now made it way easier to see all the content that's being created for you on a daily basis. And you can easily click to, let's say that I saw Flo created this post. Now I can just go open that post. I'm going to look at the imagery. Okay, that looks good. I can see who is created by, what writer, what visual style, what topic it was about. And I can also read the captions by platform prior to me choosing a time to go and schedule that post out. Flo is currently set up to be creating content for all of your companies every single day. And Flo also went in and created personas for all of your companies. So please make sure to go check out personas, go to the homepage, get used to the new look and feel. If you have any questions, we are here for you. Thank you for watching this demo. I know that it was a bit of a longer one, but I know you guys are going to get a lot out of this and the updates that we've made. So I was really excited to share as much information as I possibly could on everything that's changed and everything that you can expect in your new MoFlow experience. Like I said, this is the biggest update we've ever pushed. And we are super excited to get all your feedback and see how much you guys are using FloGen. So what you need to do now that the upgrade has actually been completed. So quick little checklist. I recommend you run through these either today. Obviously it's late today, so maybe not today, but tomorrow or the next day. Do me a favor, review your personas with the rebuild. We want to make sure that they still feel right. We did build a lot for you guys. Flo created some personas for you, so just make sure that those look good. We will connect you to me, Jeremiah, or anybody else on our customer success team if for some reason they don't look good, and we can resolve that immediately. Check your integrations as well. Make sure that your social, email, blog connections are all still active. And if you haven't connected your website, haven't connected an email platform, or maybe haven't connected a few socials, now's the perfect time to go check and make sure you're fully plugged in so you're getting the most out of MoFlow. Another thing you're going to want to do is go check out your FloGen preferences. Check out the topics that were created in your account. Feel free to remove some, add some, plug them in for different days where you see fit. And feel free to mess around with that content calendar and play with it a little bit and figure out what cadence and tone you would like. So what personas do you want to use on which days, and what topics do you want them to talk about? And then do me a favor and approve your first round of FloGen content. Go and find a post that you really like, a blog you really like, an email you really like. Go start investigating those and get something out there. See how it performs. Play with it a little bit. Feel free to edit it before it goes out. But yeah, please go in, look at the content that Flo has been creating for you. We put a lot of effort into the brains behind this and the personalization to your business, your industry, and your customers. And so if you like the content there, using it is the best way to show us feedback-wise that we're doing the right thing, and we can double down on it. And if for any reason the content looks off in any way, once again, come back to us and we will make the improvements necessary to get that content where it needs to be for you. So one more reminder on this because it really matters. This is the feedback ask. For the next month, every customer, we are giving full FloGen with 0 restrictions. So please use it heavily. Push it, tell us what you love and what you want changed or what you wish you had, what it doesn't have yet. All of those things are extremely valuable for us and we're just trying to provide the best possible product to our customers. So please come back to us with any and all feedback, positive, negative, anything in between. We'd love to hear it all. This is the window where your feedback really shapes where FloGen goes next, and more importantly, MoFlo broadly. So we want as much feedback as we can possibly get. Like I said, shoot me a text, email, however it needs to come in. Give me a call. Not sure if everybody has my number, but however you need to get it to us, please, seriously, we want as much feedback as possible, and that means a lot to us. And I just want to say it again to close out the video. Thank you so much. What we've been hearing from you recently has been some of the best feedback we've ever gotten in MoFlo history, and so much of what actually was in this update came directly from what you guys asked for. Some of the work that you guys have been able to get done using this platform has been incredible to watch, and this release is really just doubling down on all the parts that were working best for you guys and removing the friction where it wasn't working best before. So we really hope that you love it. Like I said, go use it, go crazy with it, and I will be talking to you guys soon with our next update. Thank you so much.